Well, hello race fans. I know this has been a long time coming, but the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series is finally back on YouTube, and we are here for the last chance to determine our 16 drivers who are going to be in the chase for the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series. We're here live under the lights here at Daytona International Speedway, getting ready for the Pepsi 400. We have a lot of drivers here who are trying to get so close and trying to stay in the top 16, and our front row actually consists of front row motorsports drivers. Brett Kennenberg in the 38, and right beside him is Charles Sanford, who is actually, I believe Charles Sanford, he currently sits 21st in standings. A good run here would definitely put him in the top 16, but it's not really looking too great. Another driver trying to get into the top 16 is Stephen Colin, starting in the 4th position. He currently sits 14th in standings. And don't forget our winner from Michigan last week, Mitchell Collins. Right now he sits 19th in standings. Another good run here will put him in the top 16. But we have lots of other drivers trying to get into the top 16, and most of them near that cutoff point. They're going to have to start from the very back of this field, but at a track like Daytona, especially this version, this is the 2001 version, and they can't run 4 wide here, but we're going to be running here for 24 laps, and a lot can happen in 24 laps. We're going to have some pretty intense racing here, and these guys, they're going to have to put up or shut up if they want to get into the top 16. But Brett Kennenberg and teammate Charles Sanford, they're going to have a lot of work to do in this race. Well, I've done enough talking, and I've kept all of you waiting here long enough, as we're just mere seconds away from those famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Alright boys, just like we talked about in the meeting, what's going to pay off for us today is patience and consistency. Good smooth racing on the racetrack, and that's what will take us up to the front. We'll be there at the end of this thing.
And as these 42 drivers are rolling off pit road, here is your started lineup for the Pepsi 400. As the field is going towards turns 3 and 4 right now, Brett Kennenberg, he's going to have a lot of defensive driving to do if he wants to try to hang on to that pole position. Brett Kennenberg right now sits 40th in standings. There's no way he can make the top 16, but he's going to try to go for a win here today, trying to give front row their second win of the season. Charles Sanford, he already won earlier this season at Rockingham, as the pace car makes its way onto pit road, and the green flag is now waving here at Daytona. Heading into turns 3 and 4, they're already going 3 wide to go for the lead as we now see James McLeod on the inside, and he's bringing the 2 Monster Energy cars with him. That's Joshua Osborne out of SEGA Motorsports and Michael Norman from Wood Brothers Racing, as they're already trying to go 3 wide for the lead, as James McLeod will lead the first lap. Now James McLeod, he sits 12th in standings. He's in good standing right now to stay in the top 16, but he won't have that lead for long because now here comes Michael Norman, and he's bringing Kyle Matthews along with him in that FOE number 77. But Michael Norman, he's running the Monster Energy Menards colors on his number 21 here tonight. And right now he's the guy in charge, but he may not have for long because now here comes Kyle Matthews on the inside in the number 77. And oh man, we already got a wreck. Oh man, we got a couple cars in the wall back there. I couldn't see who they were, but that will bring out our first caution of the day, as Kyle Matthews will lead them to the line. Oh man, that did not take long at all. And oh no, Dustin Stoller. Dustin Stoller was one of them, and Samad Oskan. Samad Oskan in the number 91. I was trying to find Samad Oskan on the list. He sits 31st in standings. He doesn't have a chance to make the top 16, but Dustin Stoller, I'm trying to find him on the list. I thought he was one of the drivers trying to get into the top 16. Oh no, I'm not. I was wrong. They're both under 30th. So, and man, there's some left side damage to the points leader Seth Cole. Oh man, so 3 drivers were involved in this. Seth Cole has left side damage, and he's actually running the Pepsi colors on his number 24. Oh man, I bet that wasn't what he wanted to go through here tonight, but it looks like we had a 3-car incident between the 24, the 91, and the 8. But oh man, that's a tough break for all 3 of these drivers, but I don't think they have too much damage. If they come down pit road to get that fixed, they should be able to continue. But let's head over to the replays and take a look and see what happened to bring our first caution as Kyle Matthews leads this thing. Well, here's how to brought out our first caution. Just heading into turns 3 and 4, there was a little bit of contact between Dustin Stoller and Allison Rain, and then that just makes all 4 of them just get into the wall as Dustin Stoller gets turned right in front of the field. Now, luckily, this was at the back of the track, and no one really got collected in this. But Dustin Stoller spins out right in front of Samad Oskan. Samad Oskan had nowhere to go. And Seth Cole, he just gets the left side damage after coming in contact with Allison Rain. This accident really could have been a lot worse than it has been, but luckily it was just a 4-car accident, with the worst being Samad Oskan and Dustin Stoller here in the 8. And here we are back at Daytona. We're going to restart on lap number 7, and no drivers retire out of the race from that first caution. Now, here's our top 10 once we get back underway. Kyle Matthews is the race leader. 2nd is Michael Norman. 3rd, Sky Commons. 4th, Jake Rogers. 5th, William Brock. 6th, Nathan Hudson, who recently just had a birthday a few days ago. 7th now is Dylan Poteet. 8th is Cole Daly. 9th is James McLeod. And rounding out the top 10 is Jessica Shelton. The rest of the top 15 are Chris Dollarton, Joshua Osborne, Levi McIntyre, Mitchell Collins, and Stephen Colin. There's still plenty of racing here to go. We're only going to have 18 laps to go here. The pace car makes its way back on the pit road. How long before these guys end up spread out once again here? We're about to find out as the green flag is now back out. And it looks like William Brock wasted no time in going to the inside, but he doesn't have anyone to help him right now, as the rest of the drivers have now gone back to the inside. But it looks like that they left Nathan Hudson to dry. There's no one coming up behind him right now other than the 20 of Jessica Shelton. Oh man, but now we see Sky Commons now moving to the inside. The field is greatly spread out right now as Kyle Matthews continues to lead, but that won't last for long here as they're trying to go 3 wide for 3rd place. Sky Commons now finds himself in 2nd place now as he's going to try to do what he can to chase down that number 77. But here comes that inside line trying to move. And William Brock, he's on a charge right now, bringing Cole Daly along with him. Cole Daly, who now sits 3rd in standings right now in that number 18 car. He's looking, I think he's pretty much already solidified his place in the top 16 as he now gets behind William Brock, who just took the lead away from Kyle Matthews. Now we see that Cole, he's trying to, oh man, well, he was on the inside to try to take the lead away, but they're going 3 wide for the lead now. Here comes James McLeod once again. He's going to try to bring that inside row along with him. Now we see Jessica Shelton and Nathan Hudson now. I thought they got left high and dry earlier, but it just goes to show how quickly things can change. As we now go to the aerial coverage now we see that Nathan Hudson, he's bringing his teammate Levi McIntyre along with him. And oh man, these guys are running dangerously close here. Levi McIntyre, now he goes to the inside as Nathan Hudson goes high. And oh man, Nathan Hudson running the Coca-Cola Zero Sugar number 6 here tonight as he now goes to the extreme high side. But now that's going to give the lead over to Joshua Osborne from Sega Motorsports here. Our winner from Atlanta earlier this season. And oh man, we got 3 wide racing rows back. Oh man, this is just intense racing going on right now as we now see Charles Sanford now take the lead away after starting in this race in 2nd. Like I said earlier, Charles Sanford, he currently sits 21st in standings right now. A win here might actually put him in the top 16. And oh man, we got a car in the wall. That's Joshua Osborne. He better do what he can to get off of that wall. You don't want to stay on there too much. If you get stuck on the wall, you're gonna lose a lot of ground, and that's exactly what happened to the one machine. As Charles Sanford will lead that lap, and now here comes the driver who actually won here the last time we came here, our Daytona 500 winner, RJ Bishop. RJ Bishop, he is all over the back bumper of Charles Sanford right now. As Bishop, he's going to try to do what he can. Right now he sits 34th in standings. I don't think he's going to make it into the top 16. But Charles Sanford, he ever since he took that lead, he has not looked back. But now here comes Cole Deaver now on the inside. And oh man, all these guys are running dangerously close right now. They're going 4 wide here, but you can go 4 wide here as long as no one gets loose. As Cole Deaver right now, he currently sits 5th in standings right now. He's in a good running here. Now we take a look at Brayson Mitchell in the number 41 as he goes down to the inside right in front of Mike. And oh no, we got another big wreck. Oh man, we got a big wreck, and there are a lot of drivers involved in this. Oh man, someone's upside down, but I can't tell who it is. Oh man, I could not tell who was all involved, but that was a huge wreck there. Oh man, we just passed the halfway point, and Charles Sanford will continue to lead. But I'm gonna have to take a look back and see who was all involved here. But that was a huge wreck. That probably took out more than half of the field. Oh man, and oh no, our pole sitter Brett Kennenberg, he's up in smoke. RJ Bishop, oh man, I just talked about RJ Bishop, and look, and oh man, there's some major damage to that fifth third bank, number 17. There's Nathan Orman, his car looks spotless. And oh man, there's Sky Commons, he's got some right side damage to his number 10. And oh no, Brandon Crasta, 6th in standings. He's involved. Jonathan Zorlin, 11th in standings. Oh man, Aaron Macklin, he was 25th in standing. He was looking to try to get himself into the top 16. But I think his chances are pretty much done now. There's William Brock. He's got some front end damage. And there's Kyle Matthews, who was just leading at the last caution. And oh no, Stephen Cullen, 14th in standings. Oh man, that may have just ruined his chances to get into the top 16. Oh man, there were a lot of drivers involved. There's Levi McIntyre, who I saw go around. There's Joshua Osborne, who's 18th in standings. He was looking to try to get himself into the top 16. Last week's winner, Mitchell Collins, he's got some rear damage. Oh man, there are a lot of drivers who are involved in this. There's some front end damage to the front of Chris Dollarton. And oh man, a lot of drivers were involved in this. Charles Sever continues to lead, and while these drivers are coming down pit road to get their car serviced, we're going to have to go to the replays and take a look and see what happened. And here's having to put our second caution. They were going 4 wide entering turns 1 and 2. And Sky Commons was getting a run on the inside of Brett Kennenberg. And I guess he just gets into the right rear quarter panel of Levi McIntyre. And that also collects Mitchell Collins in front of him. Alex Ferranti was stuck on the high side with absolutely nowhere to go. And it just starts a huge chain reaction. Chris Dollarton comes down in front of Jonathan Zorlin, right in front of Cody Lamas in the 11. Steven Gonzalez, he was deep in the inside, and he luckily slams on the brakes to avoid getting himself into bigger trouble. I'm trying to find a better camera angle because the TV2 camera is not really a good angle for this. I might have to slow it down just a little bit more. Yeah, there's the contact between the 60 and the 10. RJ Bishop, Stephen Colin got involved. Michael Norman, I think Michael Norman slammed down on the brakes enough to not get too involved in this. Danny Wells is deep on the inside. I think he gets past this. There's a contact between Chris Dollarton and Jonathan Zorlin. Jonathan Zorlin gets hit on his driver's side by Cody Lamas, and Joshua Osborne, he actually stands into the back of the 43. Then Brandon Crasta, that was another driver I saw who was involved. He was trying to get down to avoid the 38 of Brett Kennenberg. He spins out right in front of Allison Rain. Cole Daly gives him another little tap. That made him get a little bit more front end damage to his number 18. Then Nathan Hudson in the 6. He spins out. Oh man, he spins out right at the exit of turn 2. All these guys are just involved in this. And further back, we see that William Brock and Aaron Macklin got together. There's Alex Ferranti on the high side. And man, Jonathan Zorlin, he actually went upside down. That was the car that I saw go up and over. Oh man, just a huge wreck out of turn 2. But we got a few lucky drivers. One of them being Steven Gonzalez. He fell out of the top 16 last week, and with this wreck, that may have just solidified his chance of getting to the top 16. But who's to say? It's still too early to tell. Before we head back to live action, let's ride on board with a couple of drivers. First, we have the Texaco Haviland Ford Mustang of Steven Gonzalez. Oh man, that was some quick driving by the driver of the number 28 car, looking to get into the top 16 after this race. Now here we are with the second onboard look from the number 18 Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry of Cole Daly. Now Cole, he didn't completely get through unscathed, but it could have been a lot worse for the number 18 car. Now here we are with one last onboard from the number 78 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet of Ron Acosta. Acosta nearly made it through unscathed, but he actually gave that damage to the number 43. It was actually the driver who sent him over. Well, here we are back at the Pepsi 400, and it wouldn't be a SEGA Cup Series race without someone blowing up. But unfortunately, that someone turns out to be Dylan Poteet. Right, he avoided that wreck and was literally running in the top 10. But unfortunately, he's going to have to take his car back to the garage area. Now, luckily for Dylan, he currently sits 8th in standings, and with all the drivers who retired out of the race behind him, I think he's still going to be safe to be one of the drivers in the top 16 for the chase. But unfortunately, Dylan, he won't be able to get a win here tonight here at Daytona, as he will take his number 31 back to the garage area. And yes, the lights on the pace car are indeed out, so we might as well just stay here. Now, Nathan Orman, he got caught a lap down. So actually, he's actually at the tail end of the lead lap, but if he gets freight trained right away, he's going to get put right back a lap down. Now, we got a lot of drivers who are out of the race from that big wreck. They are Aaron Macklin, Brandon Crasta, Jonathan Zorlin, Stephen Colin, Kyle Matthews, William Brock, Brett Kinnenberg, RJ Bishop, Sky Commons, Levi McIntyre, Cody Lamas, Joshua Osborne. Dylan Poteet went to the garage with a broken camshaft, and Chris Dollarton. Our top 10, once we get back underway, goes as follows. We are under 10 laps to go. Charles Sanford still the race leader. Second is James Qualls. Third is his teammate Matt McIntyre. Fourth is Dylan Young. Fifth is Dougie Shears. Sixth is now Zachary Fitzwater. Seventh is Joshua Mudd. Eighth now is Cole Deaver. Ninth, Danny Wells. And rounding out the top 10 is Alex Drayton. The rest of the top 15 are Allison Rain, Jessica Shelton, Nathan Hudson, Christina Bell, and Tim Fiegel. Not that many drivers are left, but hey, we're going to restart with just 8 laps to go. Can Charles Sanford hold off these drivers, or will Nathan Orman spoil the party for any of these drivers, as the green flag is now back out at Daytona? And Matt McIntyre with a strong run on the outside. Oh man, he takes the lead away, and oh man, it looks like that Nathan Orman is indeed slow. He's holding up the entire inside line. James Qualls, Dylan Young, Dougie Shears, and Allison Rand, they need to try to find a way to get around that 48 car. I can see why he went a lap down now, and now he just goes to the high side. Now he's going to be holding up the high line now, depending on where he's going to go. He's holding up Dylan Young and Christina Bell right now. But, oh, man, now we have a 5-car breakaway from the pack here. Now we see that Zachary Fitzwater has taken the lead away. And wait a minute, he's coming down pit road. Oh, man, what's going on with Zachary Fitzwater? Whoa, he just took the lead, and now he's coming down pit road. I don't know what's going on with the 4, but, oh, man, that's going to give the lead over to... Oh, man, I got to get back to the front. That's going to give the lead over to Joshua Mudd. Oh, man, Joshua Mudd, he's one of the worst drivers in the standings right now. He sits 39th in standings, but he's going to try to do what he can to hang on to this lead. Joshua Mudd has been in victory lane since Kansas last season, and here comes Danny Wells in the 12. Danny Wells, he's looking to take the lead away from Joshua Mudd, but these 4 cars, they don't want to get too far away from the pack because they finally got around that slow number 48. Danny Wells continues to hang on to that lead, but here comes Charles Sanford. Charles Sanford, he's still looking to try to get his second win of the season, as well as Matt McIntyre in the 27. Matt McIntyre won back at Las Vegas earlier this year. And now we see our winner from Talladega, Dougie Shears. And here comes our Phoenix winner, Tim Fiegel. This may be the kind of run that Tim Fiegel needs. Right now, Tim Fiegel, he sits 22nd in standings. A win here would definitely move him up the ranks, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to get into the top 16. It depends on where he finishes. And now we see second in the points, James Qualls here, but he actually may be the points leader once all the points reset. He was only 8 points behind Seth Cole, and Seth Cole right now he's deep in the field, multiple laps down. His teammate Matt McIntyre is trying to take the lead away from Charles Sanford. As oh man, as we have we only have a 8-car breakaway here, or is it 9? I think it's 9 cars. I don't know if that second pack of cars is gonna catch these guys in time. Matt McIntyre continues to lead, but here comes Tim Fiegel now, driving to the inside. Tim Fiegel needs every single spot possible. And oh man, they're catching up on a slow car. That's Steven Gonzalez. Oh man, Steven, he was caught up in that accident, but he did not retire out of the race. Like I said, for all these drivers, every position counts. But now the question is, what are these guys going to do to split up the 28? And oh man, the 28 nearly dives down right in front of Tim Fiegel. And oh man, now he's holding up Dougie Shears and Danny Wells. Oh man, the laps are indeed winding down. We only have 4 laps to go. A lot can happen in 4 laps. Tim, he's going to try to do what he can to hang on to that lead. But here comes James Qualls here in the number 70. James Qualls right now, he's trying to do what he can to hang on to his lead right now. James Qualls right now, he's second in the points, but he has not yet gone to victory lane this season yet. And he's looking to change that here tonight. He's going to try to do what he can to defend that lead. But Charles Sanford has had a dominating number 34 here tonight. And he is looking to try to capitalize on that. The last thing we need is a caution right now, but all these guys are trying to try to get their first wins of the season. Qualls trying to get his first win. Joshua Mudd trying to get his first win. And I believe Danny Wells is also trying to get his first win of the season. Tim Fiegel, Matt McIntyre, and Charles Sanford are all trying to get their second wins of the season, as well as Dougie Shears. Here comes Allison Rain. We haven't talked about Allison Rain yet. She could be looking to try to spoil the party for all these guys as they're all going 3 wide for the lead right now. Matt McIntyre, he's looking to try to get that lead back, but Danny Wells, I don't know if he's going to be biding his time, but time is running out for all these guys. They better try to do what they can to try to pick a lane and stay in it. And oh man, it's going to come down to the wire. Matt McIntyre is hanging on to that lead in that number 27 here. Nothing is stopping any of these guys as we're coming to the white flag. The white flag is not waving, and now we see Danny Wells going to the inside. Is he going to have his teammate Dylan Young to try to help him? I don't know, but Matt McIntyre led them there. And oh man, it's just a side-by-side battle between Matt McIntyre and Danny Wells. But now we see Dylan Young now going to the inside. Oh man, he may be trying to help his teammate there. Now Dylan Young, he's on a charge here. Dylan Young hasn't been to victory lane since Phoenix last season. And oh man, I don't know if Young has anything for Danny Wells. He's looking to try to go to the inside. And oh man, we have a Penske Racing battle right now. Oh man, it's gonna come down to the wire. Coming out of turns 3 and 4 for the final time here. And with no one blocking him, the hometown native, Dylan Young, he will take home the Pepsi 400. The Florida native, Dylan Young, he led only one lap here tonight, and it was the lap that mattered the most. Dylan Young will take home the Pepsi 400. Oh man, what a finish here. Oh, whoops. S4 Pepsi 400 race number 26, and this race is indeed in the books. Dylan Young, despite everything, he comes out on top as he will win here today at Daytona. And I believe with that first place finish, Dylan Young will be one of the drivers who will be one of the 16 drivers competing for the championship of the NASCAR SEGA Cup. He came into this race 15th in the standings, and with the win here, he will without a doubt qualify. Now the other 15 drivers, I'm gonna have to go through the calculations and check and see who's all gonna be in the chase here. But this night here at Daytona will belong to Dylan Young and the Blue Deuce. Charles Sanford, a real dominating performance from the number 34 team, but he'll have to settle for second place. And Danny Wells, he came so close, but he'll have to settle for a podium finish in third place. Joshua Mudd ends up fourth, a good run for the number 5 team. And Matt McIntyre, he had a strong running here today. He'll have to settle for a top 5 and 5th. Tim Fiegel fell back to the 6th position. We have Dougie Shears in 7th. James Qualls 8th. Allison Rain 9th. And rounding out the top 10 was Brayson Mitchell. Okay, now we have Jake Rogers, Cole Daly, Michael Norman, Ryan Acosta, and Jessica Shelton round out the top 15. Then we have James McLeod, Mitchell Collins, Alex Ferranti with a wrecked race car. He ends up 18th. Nathan Hudson ends up 19th. And rounding out the top 20 was Alex Drayton. They all got caught up by the slow 48. That's what separated the field. And then we have Simon Oskan, both Simon Oskan and Dustin Sterling were involved in the very first caution of the day, and they end up barely finishing just past the top 20. Then we have Cole Deaver, Christina Bell, and then the last car on the lead lap was Zachary Fitzwater. He came down pit road, and it looks like that Christina Bell also came down pit road as well. Then we have Steven Gonzalez. He ends up 26. I don't know if that was enough to get him back into the top 16. I'm not sure. I have to do the calculation on the points. Nathan Orman ends up 27, and then Seth Cole, our points leader, he ended up 28th, the last car running. And then from 29th on down to 42nd, we have Dylan Poteet, Chris Dollarton, Joshua Osborne, Cody Lamas, Levi McIntyre, Sky Commons, RJ Bishop, Paul Sitter, Brett Kennenberg, William Brock, Kyle Matthews, Stephen Colin, Jonathan Zorlin, Brandon Crasta, and Aaron Macklin. Well, race fans, that does it here for Daytona. The very first chase race is going to start off strong. We're going to start off at the Lady in Black, Darlington Raceway, for the first race of the chase for the NASCAR SEGA Cup. Congratulations one last time to Dylan Young for capturing his very first win of the season, and we'll see you guys at Darlington for the chase.